Good morning, students. Welcome back to the online videos. All 9th standard students are doing well. I hope that they are doing well, and some of you are sending the homeworks also. Very few are sending the homeworks, but most of them are not sending the homeworks to me. It is very compulsory to send the homeworks to me. It's very compulsory. Okay, everyone should write the homework accordingly, and you have to send. While you are sending the homework, compulsory you should mention your name. Okay, understand? Okay, as we are discussing about the structure of the flower, it has the 4 parts in it: calyx, corolla, stamens and pistil. And in this, calyx and corolla are non-essential parts because they are not directly participating in the sexual reproduction, whereas the stamens and pistil are the essential parts of the flower because these two are directly participating in the sexual reproduction. Okay, so already we have discussed about the first 3, that is calyx, corolla and androecium or stamens, and today we are going to discuss about the 4th part of the flower, that is gynoecium or the pistil. Gynoecium or the pistil. It is a female reproductive part, female reproductive system of the flower. Okay, female reproductive system of the flower, that is called as the gynoecium. And in this, it is like a flask-like structure. It is like a flask-like structure. You observe this. It is like a flask-like structure. At the top of this, one platform-like structure will be presented. This is called stigma. It's a platform-like structure which is having a notch at the center to hold the pollen grains. The major function of the stigma is receiving the pollen grains. Receiving the pollen grains and hold them on the top, because the surface area of the stigma is always sticky in nature, or some plants, some hair-like projections also presented on this stigma, so that the pollen grain will stick to the stigma. And next, the last part of this bulged part, it's like a bulb-like structure. This is called ovary. And this is the female reproductive structure where the ovules are produced. Small balls-like structures will be presented inside this ovary, which we call them as ovules. Okay, and these ovules, suppose if you take a ovule like this, it is a oval shape and it is having a bag-like structure inside. The female nucleus will be presented inside this bag-like structure. This is the egg cell, and these two which are supported, that is synergids, that we will discuss later in the coming lessons completely. And this bag-like structure which is in oval shape, you can see here, this is called as embryo sac. Embryo sac, where the embryo is developed. Embryo sac, this is the place where the fertilization will be taking place. The male nucleus from the pollen grain, from the top of the stigma, It is traveling along with the long tube-like structure. This is called as style, which is a bridge between the stigma and ovary. Stigma and ovary. It's a bridge between the stigma and ovary. It's a long tube-like structure. Here, if the pollen grain is pollen here, the male nucleus will be travel along with this and reaches the ovary. And into the ovule will be entered. This is the ovule. And inside the ovule, a bag-like structure, one more is there, that is called embryo sac, where the fertilization will be taking place. Embryo will be developed into seed. Okay, this is the structures are presented in the gynoecium, or we can say that as a pistil. And here, this total stigma, style, and ovary, this total together called as carpel. This total together called as carpel. And a flower may be having the one carpel, then it is called monocarpal flower, and more than one carpel, then it is a polycarpal flower. Poly means many. Poly means many carpal, polycarpal flower or monocarpal flower. If only one carpel is there, that is a monocarpal. If many carpels are there, it's a polycarpal flower. Okay, but generally we call it as a gynoecium is also said to be as a pistil. Okay, this is the total structure of the gynoecium. Okay, let us now learn about the various types of the flowers based on these four parts. First of all, what are the four parts here? Various types of the flowers. Types of flowers. Types of flowers based on the four parts. What are the four parts here? Calyx, corolla, androecium, the male reproductive system, androecium. It's also called as a stamen. Fourth one is a gynoecium. It's also called as a pistil. These are the four parts that are presented in the flower. As I told you already that first two are non-essential parts and the second two are essential parts. So, based on the arrangement of these flowers or presence of these parts in the flower, the flowers are many types are. Let me explain one by one the types of flowers. Okay, based on the presence of these four parts. Okay, first let me write and then explain. The first one, complete flower. Incomplete flower, bisexual flower, unisexual flowers, naked flowers. These are the five major types of flowers based on the arrangement or the presence of those four parts. What are the four parts here? Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Presence of these four parts, the total flowers are of these five major types are. First one, the complete flower. The flower which is having all the four floral parts in one flower. The flower which is having all the 4 floral parts in it, that is called a complete flower. Example, hibiscus. So here calyx, the outer row is called as calyx, the next to the calyx corolla, next to the corolla androecium, and middle portion, innermost layer, innermost row is that is and gynoecium. Here are the 4 parts, floral parts are presented in the flower itself. That flower is called, all the 4 floral parts are presented in the flower. Such flower is called as a complete flower, hibiscus. Okay. Next one is incomplete flower. Any one of these 4 parts are absent. Any one of these 4 parts are absent. Either calyx may absent or corolla may absent. Sometimes androecium may absent or gynoecium also may absent. Sometimes both the flowers may be, both these parts will be absent. Okay. So here sometimes they may be absent or sometimes they are non-functional, means not in functional condition. Okay. So based on that such type of flowers, the flowers which are missing any one part of the 4 floral parts or any one part may be non-functional in that, such flowers are called as incomplete flowers. So based on the what part is absent or non-functional, these incomplete flowers are of 3 types once again. These incomplete flowers are of 3 types. This is staminoids, staminate flowers, pistillate flowers, neuter flowers. Neuter flowers. Staminate flower, the flower which contain only stamens, calyx and corolla. The flowers which are containing stamens along with the calyx and corolla. In these flowers, pistil is either may be absent or non-functional. If the pistil is non-functional here, then it is called pistil load flowers. Of course, the non-functional pistil is called as pistil load. The non-functional pistil is called as pistil load. So in the staminate flowers, pistil loads are present. That means non-functional pistils are presented. They are not in function. Sometimes they may be absent also. So these staminate flowers are also called as male flowers. Staminate flowers are also called as male flowers. And come to the next one, pistillate flower. The flowers in which stamens are absent or non-functional. Such type of flowers are called as pistillate flowers, and these are also said to be as female flowers. And the non-functional stamen is called as staminode. Staminode. The non-functional stamen is called as staminode. Non-functional pistil is called as pistil load. Okay. And next one, neuter flower. Neutral, not neuter flower. The flower which is not having stamens as well as the pistils. Both the sexual parts are absent. Both the sexual parts are absent, then it is called as neuter flower. The neuter flower example is ray florets of sunflower, ray florets of sunflower. This is the example for neutral flower. In this, both stamens as well as the pistil are absent or non-functional completely. Okay, almost absent completely. That is neutral flower. Ray florets of sunflower is the best example for this neutral flower. And come to the next one. That is bisexual flowers. The flowers which are having the both the sexual parts in it. The flowers which are having the both the sexual parts. Of course, there may be calyx may be absent or corolla may be absent, but both the sexual parts are presented there. That is called bisexual flower or hermaphrodite. Bisexual flower is also called as a hermaphrodite. Both the sexual parts, stamens are presented, and pistils are also presented. You might be having a doubt here. Bisexual flower as well as the complete flower are same? No, sir. No, those are different. Here complete flower means all the 4 rows or the floral parts are presented in a flower. That is called as a complete flower. Whereas bisexual flower, here the calyx or corolla may be absent, but both the sexual parts are presented compulsorily. That is called bisexual flower, hermaphrodite. Okay, and come to the next one, unisexual flowers. In these flowers, the flowers are having either male reproductive parts, that means stamens, or female reproductive parts, that means pistils. Any one sexual part will be presented in the flower. That is called unisexual flowers. Papaya, mango, these all comes under the category of unisexual flowers. Petunia is example for bisexual flower. Okay, and based on that that part that is presented in the flower, the sexual part present in the flower, the unisexual flowers are classified. The plants of the unisexual flowers are classified into 2 types. That is monoecious and dioecious. Monoecious condition of the plant, dioecious condition of the plant. Monoecious condition of the plant means the male flowers as well as the female flowers are presented in one plant only. The male flowers, that means staminates, and female flowers, that means pistillates, both flowers are presented in one plant. That is called monoecious condition of the plant. Whereas dioecious condition of the plant, in this male plants are separate with male flowers and female plants are separate with female flowers. That is called dioecious condition of the plant. Okay, and come to the next one, that is naked flowers. The flowers, actually I told you that while teaching this one, when you go to the complete flower there, all the 4 rows are presented in a flower. Okay, so here outermost layer, outermost row is calyx. It will protect all the other floral parts at the bud stage. So it is one covering. And second one is a corolla. It is also a protective layer for it protects the inner sexual parts of the flower. So when these calyx and corolla are completely absent, and these sexual parts of the flower, that is stamens and pistil, are open, that means appear outside. They are not covered by anything because the covering parts, that is calyx and corolla, are absent. Such type of flower is called as naked flower. The flowers in which the calyx and corolla are completely absent. Such type of flowers are called as naked flowers. Okay. Example for this naked flower is beetle. beetle. Okay, in Telugu they will say tamalapaku. Okay, that is beetle. Beetle flower is the example for naked flower. Okay, and this is the based on the four floral parts that are presented in the flower. The flowers are of these types, different types. And now let us see, based on the arrangement of the floral part, and once again, especially the ovary, arrangement of that ovary, the flowers are of three types. Position of the ovary, that is hypogynous flower, epigynous flower, perigynous flower. Hypogynous flower, actually the ovary is presented on the thalamus. This is the thalamus, the ovary is presented here, thalamus, position of the ovary, and from here the androecium and gynoecium are androecium is developed. Okay, so hypogynous flower means the position of the ovary is above the axis of the flower, and all other three floral parts are below the ovary. All the three floral parts are below the ovary. That is called hypogynous flower, and the condition of the flower is called as hypogyny. The condition of the flower is called as hypogyny. In this, ovary will be above the flower, above the thalamus, and all other three parts are below the ovary. That is called hypogynous or hypogyny. And epigynous, in this, ovary will be below the axis, and all other floral parts will be above the ovary. All other floral parts will be above the ovary. That is called as epigynous flower. And here, this condition of the flower is called as epigyny. Next one is perigynous flower. All the four floral parts are presented on the same axis, like this. This is called as a perigynous condition, perigynous flower, and the condition of the flower is called as perigyny. Okay, hypogynous flower, epigynous flower, and perigynous flower. These are the different types of flowers based on the position of the ovary on thalamus. Okay, and now very important structure. So, as I told you that earlier in the diversity of living organisms lesson, if you take an organism, if you draw a one line on the same vertical axis, and if that organism makes two equal parts, two equal images, mirror images, then the condition of the organism is called bilaterally symmetrical. That means the symmetrical way the flowers are of two types. Symmetrical way the flowers are of two types. Same thing. That is actinomorphic flowers In this condition, everywhere, if you take a radius, suppose if you take a flower like this, in any direction, if you draw a line like this, any direction, you can make the equal parts of the flower. Equal parts. You can make the flower into equal parts. This condition of the flower, this condition of symmetrical condition of the flower is called actinomorphic flower. In any axis, the flower may form the two equal parts. Any axis. That is called actinomorphic flower. And come to the next one. Second one is zygomorphic flower. So actinomorphic flower example is hibiscus, petunia. These are the examples for the actinomorphic flowers. And come to the next one is zygomorphic flowers. Zygomorphic flowers. In the zygomorphic flowers, the condition of this one is, suppose if you take a flower like this, you take the flower, this is the flower, this is the pea flower. Pea flower, Pisum sativa. Okay, in this flower, if you draw a vertical line in the same axis, it forms the mirror images. This is called zygomorphic flower. Only one single axis, a flower become two equal parts. If you draw any other side, you cannot get the equal parts here. Only vertical axis, you will get the one equal parts if you draw a line there. That is called mirror images. That type of condition, symmetrical condition of the flower is called as zygomorphic flower, and the example is pea flower, batani flower, pea flower. Okay? And now some conditions of the ovary will see now. Placentation. As I told you already that there is a ovary. If you take the ovary, suppose there is a ovary like this, a round ball like structure ovary, and inside the ovary, ovules are presented like this. They are arranged in a different manner. Ovules are presented there. Suppose if you take the ovary and cut horizontally and take a slice of that and see under the microscope. Of course, when the classes runs, I will show you all this, no problem. Okay? Take one structure like that, one slice from the ovary, and that will be like this. It is a round shape structure. Middle axis will be presented. So inside the ovary, the space inside the ovary is divided into chambers. The place inside the ovary is divided into chambers, and these chambers are called locules. These chambers are called as locules, and these locules are having a cushion-like structure, is called as placenta. Cushion-like structure is called as placenta, and in this cushion-like structure, the ovules are embedded. The ovules are embedded like this. The ovules, these are the ovules. So the arrangement of the ovules in the placenta of the ovary, the arrangement of the ovules in the placenta of the ovary is called as placentation. The arrangement of the ovary, the arrangement of the ovules in the placenta of the ovary is called as placentation. So based on that arrangement in the placentation, The placentation is of 5 types. Let me say that. Placentation 5 types. 1. Marginal placentation, marginal, axial, axile placentation, parietal placentation, free central placentation, basal placentation. These are the 5 types of placentations you can find in the ovary of the flower. First one is marginal placentation. If you take the seed of beans, the seed of the beans, if you take that, you might be finding that the seeds are presented at the margin. The seeds are presented at the margin. The seeds are arranged at the margin. This condition of the flower is called as marginal placentation. This condition of the placentation is called as marginal placentation. The example is pea flower or pea plant. Pea flower also you can say, no problem. Pea flower. Marginal placentation. Next, the most common placentation, most of the plants or most of the flowers are having that, that is axile placentation. In this, the ovary will be round in shape. From the central axis, the ovary is divided into locules, as I told you earlier. And each locule is having the ovules in it. This is called locule. This is called as ovule. So these ovules are presented in the locules. 5 locules are there here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called axile placentation. Very common placentation for most of the flowers. 90% of the flowers are show the axile placentation. Example is lemon, hibiscus, petunia. These are all the examples for axile placentation. Okay, and come to the next one is the parietal placentation. In the parietal placentation, the placenta is not divided into locules. It is a single locule, only single locule. The central axis will be presented there, but the ovules are arranged at the parietal side of the flower. This ovule, this placenta, parietal side of the placenta, means away from the center. Away from the center. These are called ovules, and this is the locule. One single locule is presented here. And this type of arrangement of the placenta is called as parietal placentation, and mustard is the best example for this. Mustard. Okay, and come to the next one, free central. In this free central, it is also only one locule is presented there. One locule is presented there. The central axis. The ovules are presented in the center. The ovules are presented in the center like this. These are the ovules. And this is the only one locule is presented. Free central. This is called as a free central. Okay, and come to the next one is basal placentation. free central, this is papaya. Papaya, if you cut the fruit papaya, inside in the center only the seeds are presented there, not to the edges. Have you seen that? That is, these ovules are developed into seed after the fertilization. You will learn in the next lesson. Okay, papaya is the example for free central. And come to the next one is basal placentation, maize. Example is maize. Basal placentation. If you take the ovary will be like this, and only one single ovule will be presented in this way, and it is attached at the base of the ovary. This is the ovule and this is the locule. Okay, so this ovule is attached to the locule at the base. That's why it is called basal placentation. So this is the types of placenta based on the arrangement of the ovules in the placenta of the ovary. In the placenta of the ovary, that is called as placentation. And based on this placentation, there are 5 types are there: marginal, axial, parietal, precentral and basal. And among these 5, axial placentation is very common for the flowers. Okay, now we will discuss the one important point now about the flowers, that is inflorescence. Inflorescence. In this, usually you might be seen flowers are grown or bloom on the stem of the plant or branches of the plant. Okay, usually you might be finding that one flower will be singly grown or grown on the stem. Such type of flowers are called as solitary flowers. The flowers which are singly grown on the stem, only one flower for one stem, that is called solitary flowers. Like hibiscus, only one flower for one stalk will be there, not more than one. That is hibiscus flower, that is solitary flowers. Whereas some plants, some cluster of flowers will be arranged in a different manner. Some cluster of flowers will be arranged like this. So this is the stem. Some cluster of flowers will be arranged like this. Like this, cluster of flowers will be arranged in a different manner on the stem, in a special branch. Arrangement of the cluster of flowers in a different manner, that is called as inflorescence. That is called as inflorescence. So based on the arrangement, inflorescence is of 2 types: racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence. Racemose and cymose inflorescence. Let us see racemose inflorescence. It is also called as indefinite inflorescence. Indefinite. Indefinite inflorescence. Suppose this is the branch or the stem, main stem, and the flowers are growing like this. You can see this is the racemose inflorescence. Let me draw properly. The older flowers are big in size and those are presented at the down part of the stem, and the newly formed flowers will be grown upwards direction, and the apex, shoot apex of the flower plant will grow indefinitely. There is no stop for the growth of this shoot apex. It will be growing on continuously, and the flowers are producing both the sides. and the new flowers will be upward direction, upside will be there, and old flowers will be downside will be there. This condition of the inflorescence is called as racemose inflorescence or indefinite inflorescence. And next one is cymose inflorescence. In this, at the shoot of the plant, a flower will be grown, and next the flowers will be grown like this, and old flowers will be top, newly formed flowers will be lower. And once the flower is grown at the shoot, the growth of the shoot will be stopped. So the cymose inflorescence is also called as definite inflorescence. Definite. Okay. Once the shoot is getting the flower, then automatically the growth of the shoot will be stopped, and the old flowers will be top direction, and the new flowers, newly formed flowers will be lower section will be there. This is called cymose inflorescence. It is the definite, and racemose inflorescence is the what? Indefinite inflorescence. And about the placentation as well as the inflorescence, I will send you a video along with this lesson video. You observe, you watch that video carefully and write down the points, very, very important points, especially the examples. Okay? Thank you very much.